Right, part 5 of our coronavirus plot series. Where's my face? There it is. Okay. Where did we get to last time? We got to here. And so we've got the colours that are actually on the New York Times articles. Let's show you those. That looks good. And I also now want to start removing these sort of boundaries of my plot. I'm actually going to remove the y-axis as well, because that's not terribly instructive. What is going to be really useful in terms of conveying information is a label on the peak number of confirmed cases, which is it'll give the viewer a sort of good eye to scale. So we're going to do that and get rid of the y-axis. Okay, let me remind myself how we're going to do that. Bear with me. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is, I'm actually going to be really lazy here and I'm going to just keep editing this previous cell we had. What I want to do is, let me just think. Right, so I'm going to get rid of the right side, and to do that, it's ax.spines right, and set visible false. There you go. There you go. That disappears. I'm actually going to do the same for the top and the left. Let's copy and paste those. Oh, didn't do it. Copy and paste those, top and the left. Looking good. Right, I also want to get rid of the y-tick labels as well. So to do that, ax y-axis, set visible false. There you go. Right, so that looks a lot cleaner, right? And now we've got to put some probably quite important stuff on, like a title. So let's have a look at the titles here. So you've got a nice bold title for each of these plots, which is essentially it's the name of the country. So I want, for every time I plot one of these, to automatically update it with the name of the country. I don't want to be having to type this in manually each time. So I can get that from my existing data set. So let's go back and let's do, right, to put this title in, I'm actually going to put the title on the actual figure, not the axis, right? So I'm going to call the fig object that I created when I use subplots, and it's SUP title. Okay. How am I going to do this? Oh, this is stupid, but I'm going to do it anyway. Lists, df. I'm going to convert my. I'm actually going to convert my country list, which at the moment just has the word China in it, repeated. I'm going to use sets just to get a single value out of it as well. Do I need to do that? Yeah, why not? Country. And then I'm going to call that the first element of that. Let me just make sure this is going to work. Yeah, I'm going to get the word China out. Top. Let me get rid of that. So it's going to do that. So if I was to do that now, let's see what happens. Great, I've got the word China up there. I kind of want it to be over on the left. So I can position the, there you go. I can position the location of the title using coordinates. Now, I've already done this. So it's going to be somewhere close to 0 for the x, because it's on the left. I got it as 0.12 is the best looking one, and I want it to be nearly 1, which is the top of the axis for the y. I'm going to call that 0.98. Oops. Let's update that, see how it looks. There you go. That's in roughly the right position now, which is looking good. I want to make it bigger. So font size 15, and I want it to be bold. Fortune favours the bolds. There you go, that was good. And I've also had to include this parameter as well. I can't remember why. Horizontal alignment equals left. Oh, horizontal. What's happened there? What happened there? Hang on a second. Have I spelled something wrong? Oh yeah, horizontal. Another AL in there somewhere. There you go. I'm not quite sure what I did. I think it just budged over the China a bit. That's great. Oh, okay, the other thing I really want here is the number of cases, confirmed cases, as like a subheading on the top there. So to do that here, rather than call in the figure title, I'm actually going to set a title on the sort of the component axis, right? So to do that, I'm going to do ax.set title, and the way I'm going to format this, so if I was just formatting a string, I would do that, and then I do dot format, and then I put my string in here, right? So the string I'm actually going to put in is the sum of the number of confirmed cases. The sum of the number of daily confirmed cases will give me the total number, right? So to do that, I'm going to do df confirmed, and that's really easy to do in pandas. I just put sum afterwards, dot sum, and I'm going to run that, see what happens. Okay, so it's put the number of cases, but not in the right place. So I want to, where was it? Let's space it out so I can see it even better. I can use the lock variable, location variable. I want it to be left. And yep, see what happens if I do that. Okay, that's looking good to me. And the trivial thing here that I want, which is going to bother me if I don't do it, is you can see they've got the comma, and I got the word cases after as well, so I need to update that. So to format it so that you've got a comma for every 1,000, to do that here, and I need to do that, and then comma. I'm also going to set it to 0 decimal places as well, should that ever be a non-integer value, which it won't be, but in the case of the peak value it will be, so I'm going to get into the habit of doing that. And also I wanted to have the word cases after this. Run that. There you go, confirm cases, 81995. Okay, so that's pretty good. I want my China to be slightly over a bit so it matches up. I'm being really fussy now. But to do that, I'm going to go back down here, and let's see what happens if I do that. Yeah, it's a bit better, isn't it? Okay. Right, what else was I meant to be doing? Okay, now we've got this, and we know how to do this. Let's actually annotate our line as well with the peak value. Okay, so how do I do that? Well, I'm going to use ax.annotate for this, I think. Ax.annotate, and I basically want to put on the value of the peak number of confirmed cases. Okay, so again, I'm going to format it exactly the same way I did above, and I'm going to format, and I'm going to call max of, remember what my my 7-day confirmed trend was called. It was 7-day conf. Okay. And right now, if I just do that, nothing will happen, I think. Let's see what happens if I do that. Another comma. Yeah, I get an error. And that's because, why is that? I've missed that off. But does it? And invalid format specifier. What has happened there? Ah, got the dot and the 0 the wrong way around. Dot, 0. There you go. Right, so this is the error I was expecting. Annotate missing one required positional argument. So it's no good when using annotate just putting it in. You also need to specify an x and a y value to put it in for. So to do that, I need to give it the actual x and y. So the x position is the date at which that maximum occurs, and the y value is the maximum value, right? So to do that, I'm going to do this. I'm going to call my dates, which is my x-axis, right? And I'm going to get the index of the maximum value. And to do that, I'm going to call my 7-day conf again and get the index of it where its maximum value is. Bit messy, but never mind. And I'm going to close that up, and I'm going to put the y value in as well, and I'm going to call the max of the 7-day conf. Hit that. There you go. There it is. Now it's okay. It's nearly there, but I need to make sure it's in the right position. So I actually want this value to be directly over. So I think it's slightly to the right of the value. I think the peak's about here, right? So to make sure it's directly over the top of it, I'm going to use, it's actually HA equals center. Don't know what HA means. It's just in the docs. So I've run that again now. There you go. It's over the top. And to me, it looks it's too close to the line. I want a bit of space between the line and the value. So I'm just going to I'm going to multiply the maximum value or the location of that value by 1.1. That should space it up a bit. Yeah, that looks a bit better to me. Okay, and the one thing I'm missing now is a marker. So they've drawn a line on this. I don't really like that, actually. I'm going to put a single data point, a nice big fat dot on there, so you can see where that peak is. And to do that, I'm just going to add another data point. So it's just another ax.plot. Ax.plot. I'm going to use the same coordinates that I put in here. Except obviously I'm not going to use the 1.1, and I'm also going to make sure it's formatted correctly. So I'll bring that down there like that. And how did I do this? Actually, that might work. That might work. Let's have a look. Not quite. Why hasn't that worked? Oh, there you go. Right, so it was basically trying to plot a line with only a single point, so I needed to specify that the marker was a dot. So there you go. That's that. So that looks a lot better. We're getting there slowly, aren't we? Okay, so in the next part, I think we're there now actually for this. Oh, the one thing I did notice after looking at it a bit more closely is there's actually under this line here they filled it with a slightly different color. So I'm gonna fill in the line underneath the red with a slightly different color, and you can see that actually looks it's very subtle, but it looks quite good in my opinion. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to use this extra line here. Let's just put it here, right? It's simply ax.fill, fill between. There you go. and I'm going to call the x-axis. So all between the x-axis from 0 and my 7-day conf line, okay? And I'm going to use, I've picked this off the plot using a color picker. I'm going to use this. There you go. So you can see it's subtly different. Right, so that's looking pretty good now. We're getting there. So in the next video, we're actually going to update our subplots with another plot underneath here for the deaths. Okay, we use different colors. We're going to annotate it differently, so it looks essentially the same as this. Okay, so we'll do that in the next video.